Zanzibar police holds Ashlee fiance for questioning, which means that he is in custody. His passport was seized, and they are questioning him. Probably only after pressure from the United States and other countries blowing up this story. See, they didn't expect it to get as big as it got because they was relying on the hate from our own community of black men to help the case to not resolve. And that's very unfortunate and it's very sad. But we have to really fight for each other women in order for us to get justice, it seems. And this isn't to all men. This is just to the men that wanted to make her unaliving about them instead of it being for her getting justice. But it says that the Zanzibar police force is currently holding Joe McCann, the fiance of the late Ashley Robinson, popularly known as Ashlee Jenae, for following her unaliving. Robinson, and an American citizen, was found unalived in her hotel room several days ago in what was initially reported as an apparent unaliving of herself. Addressing the incident today, April 14th, today, the Deputy Commissioner of Police in Zanzibar, who also serves as the Deputy Director of Criminal Investigation, DCI, Zuberi Kimbera, stated that the police are conducting a thorough investigation now to determine the actual cause of her unaliving. The investigation is being carried out in collaboration with other investigative bodies, while the post-mortem examination of the deceased body continues to Lumbumba Hospital in Angola. Detailing the events leading up to Robinson's unaliving, Canberra explained that the hotel management has received a report from a guest. So there is a guest that reported to them that when they were staying in room number 24, that they heard an altercation coming from room 25, which was occupied by Robinson and her fiance, not her husband. Technically still her boyfriend. And in response to the disturbance, the hotel management decided to move McCann to a different room, number 65, located approximately 8 minutes away. Well, it's an 8 minute walk from their original room. And to me, what that would mean is he went back to that room and something happened in that room. But it says, furthermore, reports indicate that prior to the incident, the deceased had requested a charging cable from a hotel employee due to issues with her own. The employee was instructed to return after 10 minutes. Upon returning, the employee found the deceased upright from something around her neck from a clothesline. She was rushed to the hospital but was pronounced unalived upon arrival. In another development, DCI Canberra strongly refuted rumors circulating on social media claiming that the cause of her unaliving was somebody's hands around her neck. He clarified that the documents circulating online are unofficial and were not issued by the relevant authorities. He emphasized that the investigation is still ongoing and that the family of the deceased is fully involved in the process, but yet they say they have not been involved. Y'all have not reached out to them. Even when other sources have reached out to you all, you have not communicated, which means you have not provided a sufficient, reliable line of communication. And so this includes the dispatch of representative from the coroner's office, authorized by the embassy and the victim's family to assist in the investigation. So we don't know if they're doing that now because the family is saying they still haven't heard anything, and now they're trying to raise they are in the process of where they are raising a GoFundMe to go to where she is so that they can have justice for their daughter. Okay? And here's the GoFundMe site. It currently stands at about 20,000 and something, and they're trying to raise 50,000. And so, like I said earlier, I'm gonna play this video as a reminder of what happened.
Attention following the death of a U.S. lifestyle influencer, Ashlee Jenae, who reportedly died while on vacation in Tanzania. Ashlee, known for her travel and luxury lifestyle content, just celebrated her 31st birthday and also got engaged during the same trip. Authorities in Zanzibar say she was found in critical condition on the 9th of April. She was taken to the hospital and later pronounced dead. Police also say she'd been traveling with her partner, and later a disagreement ensued between them, prompting the hotel to place them in separate rooms. However, as more information emerges, there's still several unanswered questions around the timeline, as well as the circumstances over what actually went down. Questions such as what exactly led the hotel staff to raise concerns about her well-being in the first place, and what actions triggered the belief that she may have been in distress, let alone deemed suicidal, who first entered her room, under what authority, and how hotel safety and privacy protocols apply.
Well, they claim that she was asking for a charger for her phone, and she made contact with a staff member, and he was advised to come back after 10 minutes, because it says the reports indicate that prior to the incident that the deceased had requested a charging cable from a hotel employee due to issues with her phone. And then they said that the employee was instructed to return after 10 minutes. And they said upon returning, the employee found the deceased hanging from a clothesline. And so is this timeline, this situation is very fishy, and they might, even though I'm thinking they might not, given this is Tanzania, but do they have any footage that's in there, or did something more happen that these people are trying to cover up, and they're only coming forward is because of pressure on us, and they can no longer cover this up the way that they thought they could? Because I think a lot more people are going to be exposed in trying to help cover up something that happened that they should have tried to intervene on. It said that they even called law enforcement to let them know about the situation. And so what did law enforcement do before this happened? Because management is the one that separated them. Law enforcement did not. So the staff called them to alert them, but did they ever show up to the resort? Which means that they never showed up, number one. And number two, the people next door complained about this already, to where they heard the altercation coming from the room. And they probably only showed up the next time. I believe the reason why they found the body is because the people called again, because they heard disturbance again. If you're in there fighting for your life, it's going to be some noise. And I believe that that man was in there committing the act, and he had to hurry up and do it before they could find out that it was him. Because that's the only thing that would make somewhat of sense. All of us have theories, but I have my own. This is my little theory, that he was in there doing what he was doing when he came back to that room. And I believe the report that they're putting in this paper is probably the second time of him returning to that room. And when they were on their way to the room, that's when they found her, because he had already unalived her. because they even say that they told the husband. They told the husband, and the mother talked to him only after it had been 11 hours since she had passed away, which means that he was first contact with the body. He was there. And then he made contact with staff, which means staff knew that he was there. So staff might want to tell the truth before it looks like they had something to do with this woman not being here and not help this man cover up a crime. Because by you being in the middle and interrupting this investigation, you look guilty just over giving her a charger for her phone, a cable charger for her phone. Because it looks like, well, what did you do? Where were you? Why did it happen when you came there and was and all of a sudden you're back and you suddenly find her? So tell the truth, or it can go that way instead of the way that it needs to go. Because if you came to the room and he was in there, or you came to the room and those people was complaining and saying that they heard more commotion and y'all just not saying it, then it's going to fall on you. And now people like us that already have like high alerts on certain countries will be more high alert and will not come to places where you have bad reputations, because this reflects on you and the safety that you give to people that come to stay at your resort. Like, how am I supposed to feel safe if I know that this situation happened to somebody where somebody was telling you that they heard commotions, and now it's a possibility that this might not have even been the first time that these people have alerted you to something going on, and y'all have contacted law enforcement, which is good, which means that you did try to get somebody to intervene. But I need to know, did law enforcement ever show up if y'all really contacted them? And where's the report in that? Because I'm still trying to understand what did anybody really do? It don't seem like they really didn't do anything.
In situations such as this, there are also conflicting reports around the timing, with differing accounts of when she was pronounced dead. These raise questions about the confirmed timeline of events and, again, what actually went down. Authorities have also suggested, but questions remain about how this conclusion has been communicated publicly, as well as what investigations were completed before reaching this particular position. In addition, it's still unclear what specific evidence is being reviewed, what role each party is playing in the ongoing inquiry, and how the family's concerns are being addressed. Now, her family has called for a deeper investigation, and those concerns are now part of the wider public conversation as authorities continue with their work. At this stage, officials say the investigation is still going on and the full circumstances still remain under review. One thing that stays constant in travel is that no matter where you are in the world, being mindful of your environment, being mindful of the people around you is extremely important. And as more information comes to light, it's important to remember and respect the people behind these headlines. This is a real person with real family, with real friends who are dealing with this loss in real time. This is no longer just a headline. It's actually a case that the world is watching. And as more information emerges, we will be here to bring you every single update.
All right. So in my last video, I also showed a picture of him with his ex-wife and how they say that they're divorced and he has kids and he abandoned her at the same age as Ashlee Jenae. And so I would love to hear her story, but she's probably not going to say anything because she might not want to be associated with this case or this matter, which I understand. But history about somebody says a lot.
having their passport withheld right now.
We just think it's very odd that our daughter is traveling with Joe and we don't hear anything from Joe. To me, that's very odd.
Now, I'm going to explain that passport situation in a minute. Now, think about it. You propose to someone, they unalive themselves or whatever you say, and then you don't contact the parents or the family at all. Last time family spoke to him, he said everything was fine. She was just stable in the hospital. And then after it's reported she's unalive, in which you, Joe, say that she did this to herself, which if y'all had a massive fight that's being reported and y'all were in separate rooms, how would you know what she did to herself? How would you definitively be able to say someone else didn't do it to her or something like that? And then you go ghost from the parents. Now we're finding out he is being forced to speak to police right now. And also, the partner of U.S. influencer Ashlee Robinson, who died last week while on holiday with him, has had his passport withheld, the local police said in a statement. There's a reason his passport is being withheld. We're going to find out very soon. But again, this ain't adding up, and I don't like it. What if I told you?
And also, it doesn't matter what she did. She didn't deserve to be unalived. And Zanzibar can't rule a case as a thing until proper examination of her body is done. And they made their mistake of saying that okay, she did this to herself, because that's probably what he told them. Because that's what he told her mom. You know how it goes when we see the videos and they say they did it to themselves, and it turns out to be more horrific and wilder than you thought. And another thing is, I wonder, I don't think she knew about this man's past. I honestly do not. I do not. Because if she was trying to have that life with him, she wasn't trying to get info on that man like that. I'm pretty sure with the relationship between her and her mom would have said something about that. I'm almost certain. Because this man married a woman and abandoned her at the age that Ashlee was right now. And I just showed you all earlier on the years that they were married in 2014. Now they met, they began talking in 2014, married in 2018. And then they were only together for 3 years. So it's a lot going on with this situation. But one thing for certain is we're going to fight for her. And just like everybody is interested in her lifestyle and feeling like that's what got her in trouble, even if you're a call girl, you still don't deserve to be discarded as trash. You deserve justice just like me and anybody else down the street. Whatever was going on with them, he had no right to take her away from the life that she wanted to live. That's the life that she made the choice to live at 31. So it's just a lot of people that are so fixated on her personal life. And it says Ashlee Jenae, whose real name is Ashlee Robinson, was reportedly involved in a dispute with her fiancé at the resort in Tanzania. Hotel staff intervened and separated them into different rooms, which we already know. Authorities were contacted after concerns were raised about her well-being. She was later found unresponsive in her room on April 8th. She was transported for medical treatment, but tragically passed away on April 9th. Police told local outlet Milwaukee that they believe Ashlee Robinson's death was unaliving her herself. But you're the police. You're not forensics. You're not the examiner's office or the coroner's. So you can't rule something without investigating it first. You can't, it's like they said it so it can be that. According to Commander Benedict McRear, authorities are not planning to detain or pursue legal actions against her fiance, which she is currently detained. However, her family says they have not received an official cause of her unaliving or autopsy report because they hadn't done it. They state that despite contacting the police, the U.S. Embassy, and the consulate, they have not been given additional information beyond being told the case is still under investigation. Philadelphia Action News obtained and published a portion of a police report that mentioned unidentified marks around the neck and indicates that the husband is the one who found her. So, yeah, how is it that staff said somebody told them to be back in 10 minutes, but they returned to the room and they found her? But in this report, of a police report that mentioned unidentified marks around the neck, it indicates that the husband is the one who found her. And it says there is an unidentified mark around the neck, not any wound seen, not pale, not jaundiced. And it says, according to the husband, not her husband, her fiance, he found the woman unalived herself on the door. He found her. So how did staff find her if he found her? Were y'all both in the room? Like, what's going on? Because, like I say, they're giving very much conflicting information. Then it was stated that she was taken to a second hospital, which listed immediate cause of her passing, cerebral hypoxia, second by strangulation and suffocation. The patient kept deteriorating, hypertension despite fluids and entropes support. At around 1650, patient has collapsed. Pupils were fixed, dilated, and unresponsive to light. No cardiopulmonary activities and no recordable vitals. Hence, death was certified around 5 o'clock, 1700. Immediate cause of her passing was cerebral hypoxia, second by strangulation and suffocation. But this is once they took her to a second hospital. So why couldn't the first hospital not see that was the case? That's simple. If somebody had their hands around your neck, taking your life away, that you would notice that the first time. So why did she have to be sent to a second hospital for observation? That makes no sense. In plain English, the person unalive because their brain didn't get enough oxygen due to their breathing or blood flow being restricted, like from choking or hands around a neck or suffocation. Could be a homicide, suicide, or undetermined. Medical examiners and investigators look at autopsy findings, injuries, marks, internal damage, scene evidence, witness statements, timeline, and circumstances, but they are not talking to the witnesses that stayed next door, other than we know that they complained the first time. And I'm beginning to think that was the second time that we're hearing about, And that's what I'm thinking, because they are lying so much that I don't believe them in Tanzania anymore of what they have to say or what happened. So now we have to rely on our own consciousness and wokeness to what is happening in this whole situation, because they say this man is valuable to crypto and others say he's a scammer of crypto. I don't know. All I know is it's a lot of errors going on right now, and this ain't looking real. This is not looking good for Tanzania and the resort. Like, now that this has happened, and it's looking like even if he paid y'all off to hush, and now you have to come forward and tell the truth because the heat is getting hot. You look bad. You look very bad, and I wouldn't step one country into that place to stay or vacation again, because they have let us know that if something happened to us, that they're going to automatically rule it a thing before they investigate it. The police can't just say that this is what it is without doing a thorough investigation. And that's all I wanted to say, and come back and report on, because I was commenting about it, and my comment, I was muted out the whole time. So I wanted to come back and give more commentary on it. And I'm just reporting like everybody else, because I have an opinion like everybody else. So here I am too. Please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and comment below about how you feel about this case. Okay? You guys have a good evening, and I will see you later. And stay tuned for more info on this case as we follow through until she's provided and given justice. Have a blessed day. Bye.